Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Colleen and Tim Kidd.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Awesome. My name is Colleen Kidd. This is Tim Kidd. We are the owners of Three Palms Media, and today we are here to talk to you about building your dream team. We started our business a little over 2 years ago, August of 2022, and we have been able to scale a team in that time. We love it. We're really passionate about building a team and everything that we've done, and it's truly been our favorite part of it. So we are going to give you everything we got for how we have done it. There are different ways to grow and scale a team, different tactics, different processes. This is through the lens of Colleen and Tim and Three Palms Media. So, first thing I wanted to talk about, Kevin touched on this a little bit yesterday, but you are in the business of what? People. You're not in the business of real estate media. You are in the business of communication and relationships. This is super important. People ask us all the time, how have you grown a team so quickly? How have you been successful so quickly? Because we understand that we're in the business of communication and relationships as it relates to our clients, but today we're talking about this as it relates to building our team. So I love this quote. I didn't make it up, but it is, success is not something you pursue. It is something that you attract by being attractive. So what does that mean? That means that it's not something you go out and obtain. It's something you have to be in order for success to find you. You don't go out and find it. It finds you by who you are being. So the more you understand yourself and you think of how you can attract the people that you want around you, the clients that you want around you, they will come and they will find you. So we get people that reach out to us all the time. I love your business. I want to work for you guys. I love what you talk about. They want to work with us or for us because they find us attractive because of who we are being, not what we are offering. It's really key to understand that point. So another foundation is leadership. So leadership, it starts with you. You cannot lead others until you have the ability to lead yourself. So leadership to me means, one, going first. Leaders go first. It also means that everything in your business is your responsibility. You have to take ownership for everything. Someone talked about this the other day on stage. So it is not your person's fault. It is not your client's fault. If you take ownership of everything, it means you're a leader and you're going to attract what you want to attract. So this is another way to break it down. I love this. It's really resonated with this. This has really resonated with me. It was a coach of mine, not affiliated to real estate media, that taught me this. The 3 layers of a relationship. This is not just a business thing. This is a life thing. So layer number 1, it's all about me. This is where you don't want to be. If everything's about you, about your business, if you're looking through the lens of yourself, that is the first layer of the relationship, you will get nowhere. Nobody's attracted to that. No one wants to be around you. You all know this person in your life where everything's about them. It ain't cute, right? Second layer, this is kind of where society tends to live, and this is where we get a little bit in trouble. So equality. This means tit for tat. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. The problem with equality, the problem when you keep score, is you get resentful. Well, you did that, so you should do this. It's kind of just another, it comes back to the first one. It's all about me. Well, I did this for you, so you should do this for me. The third one is your needs are my needs. This is where you want to live, not only in your relationship with your spouse or your friends, but in your business with your clients and with your employees as well. If you focus on what you can do for your clients, what you can do for your employees, they will feel more empowered. They're going to become better people. They're going to be inspired. They're going to automatically be better for you and for your company, which isn't why you do it necessarily. You do it because that's what life is all about. I think the meaning of life, the purpose of life is really serving. It's serving others. That's where you find the most fulfillment and the most joy. So we always try to think, we're not perfect. Nobody is. But we always try to live in your needs or my needs. This is exactly why we've built the team that we've built. This is exactly why we've built the clientele that we've built. And this is exactly the foundation of our success. So when you think about building a team, it's really important to think about your intention. What do you intend to do? What are your goals? You don't need to build the same business that Three Palms Media does. You don't need to build the same business as somebody else at your table. What are your actual intentions? So our day one intentions at Three Palms Media, number one, we wanted to become leaders. We wanted to lead people. That's something we're passionate about. It is fulfilling for us. Number two, we knew day one, we wanted to create an asset for our lives. So that means we wanted to build a team. We wanted to have something that was running independent of us. That was our day one intention. Number three, we wanted to challenge ourselves. I was talking about this earlier. I think it was with Artur, and it was, you learn so much about yourself when you become a business owner, and it helps you in every area of your life. We wanted to challenge ourselves. And the fourth one maybe we left off here is, we want to go to Europe for a month every summer. We want to travel, kind of under the create an asset. So real quick, here's our timeline. We began August 2022. We hired our rockstar VA, Febby, in December of 2022. Tim quit his job in February of 23. We hired our first photographer. We're so excited in 2023 for September. I was going to quit my job January 1st of 2024. I realized, what am I waiting for? Let's go. So made the decision to quit. I tortured myself over this decision. The second I made it, I felt so much relief. November 2023, we fired that first photographer. That one freaking hurt. We're going to talk about that. And December of 23, we went and hired our now first photographer. Then we hired our second. Then we hired our third, and then we hired our fantastic admin August of 2024. Just a brief timeline there. 1 year to go today, when Tim and I were at this conference, I was talking to Jared. I'm like, I think I need to fire my first photographer. I've given him chances, this and that. Oh my gosh, torturing myself over it. Of course, Jared says, hire fast, fire fast. He's got to go. So 1 year ago today, when we were on this stage, we were about to fire our first photographer. Today, exactly 1 year later, we have 7 photographers on our team. We have 4 virtual assistants, and we have 1 full-time admin. Crazy, crazy.
Great.
When we left last year, I was like, I wonder where we're going to be next year. And I didn't really think that we were going to be here, but this all goes back to our intention, guys. This was intentional. You have to think about your intentions. But this was pretty awesome. So, question we always get, when do I make my first hire? Colleen, I want to grow. When do I make my first hire? I am going to absolutely say that your first hire is not a photographer. Your first hire needs to be a virtual assistant. Why? This is going to allow you to experience being a leader. If you've never been a leader, a manager, it's going to allow you to experience that for the very first time. Having somebody else that's inside of your business that is not just you. It's going to take those repetitive tasks off your plate that are bogging you down that you don't need to be doing because you've already done them, you've learned how to do them. Let's get rid of those so you can actually push your business forward. And it's really going to lay your foundation for growth, putting those systems in place so you can bring somebody else on. It's systematized, and it's going to help with that work-life balance. Say you don't have an intention of growing a team. You're still going to need a VA because it's going to give you your work-life balance. So What can a VA do? These are what our VAs do. The very first reason we hired our VA was to do the Instagram method. Listen, I need you to do the Instagram method. I need you to follow clients, potential clients. I need you to warm them up. I need you to like their stuff, comment on their stuff, find unique things that we can say to them. I gave her a guide, the emojis that I like. I gave her a guide of our brand voice, how I talk. I'm a big exclamation point gal. I wanted to make sure that she was doing that as well. I had to look back at my comments. I made a little guide on, this is our brand voice. This is who we are. I need you to talk like this. I had her put a link to every comment she did for a while so I could kind of check in, see how it was going. That was the first thing that we did. You can have them reach Zillow for the outbound method. Didn't exist when I first started REPP, so I've never done it. But I hear that you can use your VAs for that. And then the second thing we started having her doing was posting on social media. I wanted her to always keep a story. I always need a story. I want to post every single day. Gave her the login to Spiro. Find what you like, post it. Then QA and deliveries, the next thing our very first VA started doing. Quality checking in the morning, delivering everything to clients. She owns the relationship with our editors. Something comes in, we need to fix this or that. Our VAs own the relationship with the editors. And then finally, we moved her into our inbox, responding to those low-hanging fruit emails, right? The ones where, can you edit this? Can you book a shoot here? What is in this? Things like that, and text. Pro tip, get open phone. If anyone doesn't know what open phone is, it is a phone number that you can get for your business. You can invite your VA into there, your team members into there. You can talk internally. And we waited way too long to get a new phone number because it was Tim's phone, personal phone, blowing up, blowing up, blowing up.
Faster you do that, the better.
Yeah,
I can tell
sooner you do that,
now.
the better. Absolutely, the sooner you do that, the better. So get open phone. Now we have 4 VAs. Look at how cute they are. These are my 4 VAs. It wasn't a requirement that they all live in the same area, but they do. So every time we hire a new one, I give them $100 and say, let's go out, have coffee, get to know each other, things like that. So this is our VA team here, and they are the backbone to our business. They're handling everything. They're posting, they're finding leads, they're doing everything. So people always ask how to hire a VA. So we have always used onlinejobs.ph. It's like an Indeed for Philippine workers that are looking to work remotely. Our key is that we have them send us a video of themselves with answering 3 key questions. So I'm always trying to find, how can I weed out the people that are just apply, apply, apply. I want them to actually respond to my job posting specifically. So I say, send us a video answering 3 questions. 1, who are you? What do you love? 2, tell me about your prior work experience and how it would relate to 3 Palms Media. And number 3, why is it that you want to work for 3 Palms Media? When they send me that video, I'm looking for them to say the words 3 Palms Media. They made that video specifically for us. They're specifically interested in that. Once I go through all of those, I go to final round interviews on video. When I invite them to do a video interview, I say, here is a personality assessment. I need you to take this. It's free. Just screenshot it. I use Truity, TRUITY.com, and I either send them a disc or I send them an enneagram. What I do, what I'm looking for is actually I take the job description, I pop it into ChatGPT, and I say, tell me what profile I'm looking for. And then I'm just looking for that as a baseline. Once you have VAs, I test their personality. I kind of try to replicate that. We're posting for $4 to $5 per hour is what we're starting at. And in the video interview, we're talking about the growth that they could have with our business, understanding their goals, their destination, what they want, seeing it if it aligns with ours. We originally used Wise to pay them. Right now we use Gusto because that's our payroll. That's how we pay our photographers. And there is a thing called time proof on onlinejobs.ph where it tracks their time. It's kind of like a punch in, punch out. So you can use that when you're getting up and running. People always ask us about that. A couple VA tips. One, I say hire one as soon as you can. It's going to depend on your intention. It's going to depend on your financial resources. But we hired one, we started in August, hired one in December.
Yeah, we had like maybe made $5,000 total in our business. And we just said, screw it. Like, if we can afford it, even if it was out of our personal bank account, screw it. Let's just, I can't stand on my phone anymore and do this Instagram method. So.
We fought over the Instagram method. You do it.
Yeah.
No, you do it. I don't want to do it.
I'm like staring at my phone for hours. I'm like, get me off of this thing. Let's go.
You do have to understand the tasks that you give them. Don't say, hey, go do the DM method if you've never done it yourself. So you got to create that foundation first. And then pour into them, create a relationship with them, understand who they are, what they love, what their family's like, things like that. Treat them as the true member of your team that they are. Again, like their needs are our needs. And I'm going to talk more about, how we've kind of created that relationship a little bit later. But give them encouragement. Check in with them. If you haven't talked to your VA in a couple days, you're doing it wrong. You need them to be excited and know that they are a valuable member of your team.
Now the best part, you guys are all thinking, but when do I hire my first photographer? This actually all depends on what your goals are. So do you want a photographer? Do you like solo shooting? How big do you want to make your business? You just start to think about what your main goal was when you started this business. Is it freedom? Is it things like that? So think about those things when you're ready to hire your first photographer. Your finances or revenue. How much do you have built up? If you could say to yourself right now, I am going to invest into a person for a month. They're going to make me no money. But when they're done, they can take all my shoots, and then they're taking all your money that you were, obviously shooting from at that time. And then you're going to be actually giving that time to grow your business a little more. So think about those little things. How booked out are you? If you're booked out more than 4 days, start hiring. I think probably the most important piece is that, we'll kind of talk about just the mistakes we made, but if you could be proactive in your hiring for a photographer rather than reactive, I think you're just going to set yourself up for more success than you think you will. So, and then obviously it depends on your season. I know everyone here is in different parts of the country in different seasons and stuff. So for us, we just have a little bit of balance where we don't really have an off season, or at least I feel like we've forced ourselves to not have an off season. Go get more clients if you feel like you're having an off season. So that's a great point. So.
Yeah, don't hide. Coming off a busy season, you're freaking out. You're going into slow season. Don't hire at the end of your busy season. Take some time, work on the foundation of your business, get your systems in place, and then hire somebody maybe midway through the busy season or the slow season or so, because you do want to give yourself some time.
Yeah. So this is the best part, I think, about when you're considering hiring your first photographer. Think about the learning curve, not just for your photographer. I think it's actually for yourself. So when you guys are thinking about training and developing somebody for your first time, and you're becoming a leader or a manager for your first time, like, what are those steps going to look like? What do you need to teach them? What do you want them to learn? How quickly do you think they can learn? I just think there's a learning curve that you're going to capture during your first hire there. What systems do you have in place? If you don't have like a Gusto or things like that, how are you going to pay them? How are you going to get everything set up? You know what I mean? Those are all these little things you have to think about when you're hiring your first photographer. You could be like, hell, I'll just Venmo them. Then you're like, okay, like there's a better route for these here. So
yeah, or if it's a pain for you to offload to your editors, it's going to be a pain for them. That needs to be set in stone before you go and hire somebody. It needs to be repeatable. That's what we mean by systems.
Yep, absolutely. And I think this is probably one of the most important questions that we get asked the most was W-2 or contractor. I feel like there's so many different ways that you can do it, and there's so many different options. We decided to just do W-2. We wanted to have a team, like a true team, having control of their schedule, giving them that sort of ability to kind of come to our meetings, be part of a team. I think the other pieces too at the W-2 is just like I wanted to supply their equipment. I wanted the image quality that I'm shooting on to be the exact same image quality. I wanted everything to kind of be balanced. Yeah, I think those are some of the big pieces.
Yeah, from our understanding, the key difference is if you're going to go contractor, they're using their equipment. They're not an employee of your business. W-2, they're using your equipment, they're an employee of your business. There are plenty of examples. There are, what, Todd, 3.05 million contractors.
Yeah.
And then there's Norman and Young, W-2. There's no right or wrong way to do it for us. We just, like, it was important for us to become true leaders, to really build out a culture. We do team meetings. We tell them when to do it, how to do it, what to wear, all of those things. So we went with W-2.
So what are you looking for when you're hiring your first photographer? I think that's a really important piece to think about. I think a lot of people say, like, I want somebody who has the skill up and running, ready to go. Let's just get that person on because you're being reactive. For me, I worked in different industries where I hired people for a living. I managed larger clothing retail businesses. And the most important piece that I found along the way was hire personality. Hire that person that you have a great connection with. They're making great connections with you. The eye contact, their communication skills. Like, you can feel their passion when they're talking to you at just about anything that it is. So you start to feel it. And I always say within the first 5 minutes, you're going to know, like, who you're hiring. All that stuff, all this technical stuff, you can teach them all that stuff. But, like, you're hiring that personality and, like, who you want to be part of your team and your vibe, that's a very, very important piece.
Absolutely. The personality for us is key. How they show up talking to us is how they're going to show up on site. And we are in the relationship and communication business, not the photography business. So we're hiring according to that.
So mistakes we made, hired too late. Again, reactionary hire. We hired maybe for the wrong reasons. Person, they had some ability creating content. They loved creating it, but they were very immature. And we realized that quickly. You know, it's just a great learning experience for us to kind of learn through that. And then just not setting job expectations properly, understanding that it is a variable hour job, and there is times that they're going to work quite a bit, and there's going to be times that there is some downtime. So just be very clear with your expectations, as well as, you know, don't say this is like the most beautiful thing in the world and then not be that way. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Be very directive of just like the challenges that they're going to face every day. You're going to go into a house that might have fleas on the floor. You're going to have these sort of things that just, like, you know, it's not all the glitz and glam. So there's opportunities to really just be very, very clear with expectations.
Yeah. Because we hired too late, we felt desperate. And we said, oh, well, we need somebody with some more experience. We overlooked what we truly should have been hiring for. So that's definitely where we went wrong, and it was painful, but it taught us so much. Like, I was looking back, I'm like, that was awesome. Like, I got to learn those lessons up front on our first hire. So it's all about how you look at it. Our hiring process, this is exactly what we do when we're looking to hire on a new photographer. So number one, the job posting. The job posting, you know, how many boring ads are there on Indeed and things like that? So I am careful about our job posting. I want it to really reflect who we are. What does it feel like to work at Three Palms Media? So I put a lot of personality into it. I make sure it's a very truly accurate description of the job, all of the details, everything that they're going to be doing. And then we use Indeed.com. That's how we've always found our photographers. We have had a lot of people reach out and ask us about job opportunity. It's never really worked out. We've always used Indeed. I like that you can set mandatory questions on there. Again, I am looking to weed out anybody. I want to make it somewhat exhaustive so they don't care. They're like, I love this job. I'm obsessed with it. I'll do whatever you need. So those questions that I make them answer are... they are things like, do you understand that this is a variable hour job and you are not guaranteed hours? Yes or no. Do you have a reliable method of transportation? If so, what is the make and model of your car? Do you have a laptop? Do you have an iPhone 15 or higher? Or if not, are you willing to upgrade? Do you have high-speed, reliable internet? Tell me about your at least 2 years minimum of customer experience is really only our real true requirement is the customer service expectation or experience. And then we put in some questions in there about why did you choose to have this, you know, to apply for this job? What do you love about working with people? So when I go through all of these, I'm first looking at those. If they didn't answer the questions, X. I don't even care what your name is. I'm never looking at your resume. X. No. Then I'm looking at their questions. Do I like their questions? Do I feel like their answers are what I'm looking for? Did they put time into it, or is it just yes, no, yes, no? That's what I'm looking at. If they pass that test, I will take a look at their resume. We do a little pre-screening on the resume of, have they hopped around jobs a lot? Is there anything on there that raises a red flag? Is their resume professional? Do they have a resume? If you're on Indeed and you don't have a resume, like, I'm not really interested in you. You don't seem very serious. And then our next step is, actually, Indeed used to have like a one-way interview. It wasn't on there last time I went to hire, but I know some people do have people send them videos like of themselves answering 3 questions. I think that's a great tactic as well. We used to be able to do that through Indeed. We can't anymore. I emailed them. I said, why would you take this away? But they didn't get back to me, so. Yeah.
Your responsibility is send out in 24 hours. Yeah, right.
My biggest pro tip, I came up with this, is at the very end of the job description, I put in there, if you've read this entire job description and you are serious about, wanting to join our family at 3 Palms Media, please include the phrase, I love palm trees, in answering your questions. So I am looking for this in their questions. If they don't say, I love palm trees, maybe they didn't care enough to read the entire job description, and so that's just not the kind of energy that I'm looking for. I'll also put at the bottom of it, if you're really serious about joining our team, shoot us an email, send us a cover letter of why with your resume and the questions. If they send us an email, like they're intentional about wanting this. So next we go on to a 15-minute video interview, and it is all about them. It is all about understanding their destination. What are they looking for? If that doesn't line up, I don't care to tell them anything about the actual job. So how we do this is we have a Calendly link, and we just send them that and say, hey, book something on our schedule. We set it up with our Google Calendar so we're available. And these are the questions that I am asking them. I ask them, what do you love? People answer that very differently. I always find it's interesting. What does that mean to them when I ask them, what do you love? That tries to get me a sense of who they are, that's when passion can come out. That's when a real sense of who they are kind of comes out. So I love asking that question. I also ask, what are you looking for in a job? What I'm looking for them to say is stuff in line with our culture. I love how much you seem to care about your team. I'm looking for a team. I'm looking to grow as a person. I'm looking to learn new skill sets. I'm just looking to be somewhere awesome that I can be part of something and not so much a number. How many hours are you looking for? I need to know their availability. If their availability is not there, see you later. So what do you like and dislike about client experience or working with people? Jared, my man Jared taught me this one. He said if you ask them what they dislike, see how negative they go. That's going to be a real key indicator on how much negativity they might bring to your team, which is, as we all know, infectious. Yuck. Okay. So that's a good one. And then instead of asking them to describe themselves, I like asking, how would your past coworkers describe you? It's easier to describe yourself sometimes through the lens of somebody else than saying, oh, I'm this or I'm that. So I really love this question. It's been really helpful. If they don't pass this test, then they do not move on to our in-person interview. We're doing in-person interviews. When I advance them to the next round, I am asking them as well, truity.com. Send me your Enneagram, send me your DISC. And again, I asked ChatGPT what I'm looking for. Now that I have a bunch of amazing photographers, I know what they are. That kind of gives me a rubric. This isn't black and white, the personality test, but I do think it's interesting. I do like to see it, and it shows that they spent time, doing that. We book our in-person interviews back to back. We pick a coffee shop. We book them back to back, and we're really keeping it conversational. Sometimes I'll feel like I know exactly who that person is through the video interview, and then they show up in person, and I'm like, not really what I thought. Good or bad. Sometimes I'm like, wow, that person really blew me away. I wasn't kind of expecting that. So we really keep it conversational. How they show up they're talking to you, the eye contact, ease of communication, that's exactly how they're gonna show up on site with your clients. Like, we know how we like to interact with our clients. That is what I'm primarily looking for. And this is when we set super clear, super detailed expectations of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the job. Once I got a lot of photographers, I started asking them to tell me this through their perspective, and I have used that in setting clear expectations. I'm not gonna run through these, but here's some, you can take a picture of this. Here's some interview questions that I do like to ask to kind of help foster that back and forth communication when we are on site interviewing them, just to get a feel for who they are. And every time I've gone against my gut, it's failed me. So I'm a big gut check person. If they don't pass the gut check, don't let your mind tell you that you should hire them.
I'm about structure. Pay scale is very clear cut for us. It makes it so that they have steps to work towards, and it's very, how do I describe it? Like achievable, and it's like a clear cut way to achieve that goal. So $20, you're starting out, you're training with me, you're on site, we're doing things together. Immediately, the first day they get there, you sign them up for a Part 107 test. I don't care if it's 3 weeks away. For us, 90% of our shoots have aerial photography to it. I can't send you out. We just won't get bookings specifically without aerial photography. So we get them set up first day to get that drone license. As soon as you get your Part 107, you immediately jump to $25 an hour. And then you go on to video. Video doesn't mean like, oh, you could do one video, now you're at $30 an hour. Nope, they go out, they learn video, they're learning along the way. Now they're shooting a few videos by themselves. And once we feel like your video is now acceptable, that we feel like is a good video and good product to offer, you immediately jump to $30 an hour. And then $35 lead photographer. I feel like this is gonna be one of the most important positions as you're growing a team, is giving them that high level piece that someone can really strive for to be a leader in your team. I think we are now going, at this point where our first photographer is now at that level, and we're giving him this last final test of training our photographer right now and getting her fully set up on video and getting her to that next level. But they need to be able to be your top person with your agents, be that person that can do agent on camera consistently, never really having so many issues. It's just like that leader that's within your team, $35 an hour.
Yeah.
And then
we currently don't have one. We're about to promote our first lead photographer, so it's taken him a year to get to that position.
My favorite part, training. So I get to train all of our photographers. This is kind of my role here. Onboarding day is the most boring day they'll ever have. It is paperwork, it is checking them in, getting them logins, setting up Matterport logins, all the boring stuff that no one really cares about. And then that leads to the next day, is Christmas Day. So equipment day is like my favorite day. We do supply all of our equipment for our photographers. It is obviously a pretty big expense that you do have to think about taking on. I think ours is right around $9,000 or $10,000 of all the equipment that we do provide. But it's fun. They get to break out all the stuff. They're playing with the camera. You're setting up gimbals. It's so much fun for that day. And then the other days that we kind of go through, I'll kind of go through them quickly. So we do train in a vacant house if we can. So we do have connections that we reach out with that are property managers, and they have Airbnbs, and we trade off. We'll give you free photos to use your house for the day. They can update their photos. This is a great connection that we have. The next time they're shadowing me on site, with agents together, seeing the communication, watching what I'm doing. I'm always talking out loud as I'm doing that. Like, here's why I'm taking this picture. This is how many pictures I'm taking. We go through those things. And then I'm shadowing them. Let them take over. Let them follow, so that next day that they're going out, they're taking the photos, we're comparing them, things like that. And then take the training wheels off and go.
And everyone is different. So it's really easy to compare your different photographers to each other, but just note that everyone is different. Encourage them to practice. Ask them how they think they're doing. Like, if you're like, I don't know how, they don't seem to be getting this, ask them how they think they're doing. Check in with them. We love cross-training, so now we have photographers on our team that train our new team members, but also just, hey, I'm gonna send you out with Justin, I'm gonna send you out with Julian. People pick up different things from different people. Everyone kind of has their own way of doing it. And then we always give them extra cushion time when they first go live to their own appointments. We do that through Spiro. We add 50% time on, maybe knock it down to 25, and then we have them live. And then Your first hire, we know your first hire is a little different than things that we can do now as a bigger team. So I think it's still important to have that little check-in with them on getting them logged into everything, as well as explain to them your business, explain to them your bundles, explain to them what you do. Make sure you're including them on who you are in your business, and then just put them in the car with you. That's what we did. Put them in the car with you, and they will learn trial by fire because you're busy. Like, you're hiring because you're busy. You don't really maybe have time to spend 2 days like we do out of the field. For our employee reviews, this is important. So we always provide feedback on their work via Loom. We have a 30, 60, 90-day check-in with them. If they don't pass, that's when we're giving them real feedback along the way. We always tell them, you're gonna make mistakes, badge of honor. You're gonna make mistakes. It is not about the mistakes, it's how we rebound from the mistakes. It's what we learn from the mistakes. And we have continued one-on-ones with them every month or every other month. Managing different personalities. We've got a lot of different personalities on our team, and that's been something that's been challenging for us as leaders. So here's a couple of ours. We've got Julian. He's our first hire over here, the guy with the peace sign. He is more quiet, but he cared a lot. He was very intentional. We got good vibes from him. He has been a staple on our business. He's going to be our first lead photographer. We're going to promote him next month. But he needed to I gathered that he needed to instill a little bit of confidence, that his confidence in front of clients was something he struggled with. So that's something we're talking about every one-on-one with him. And I'm finding ways to make sure he knows how good he's doing. He's one of those people, doesn't know how great he is. I have to tell him. So we've recognized that about him. Then we got Justin, very opposite of Julian. He's great on site. He's like, hey, he can put agents on camera. But he doesn't always have that same attention to detail that maybe Julian has. Maybe he forgets his 3D camera at a listing or stuff like that. So we're like, Justin, we love all these things that you do, but here is where you need to get better. And then we have Jay. Jay is awesome. He's the heartbeat of the team. He's just he loves it. He's ride or die for Three Palms Media, which is why I hired. He wanted this job so bad, he almost wouldn't leave us alone. And I was like, it kind of is the energy that I want, on the team. And with Tim and I wanting to inspire and be leaders, he was one of those guys, he just needed somebody to take a chance on him, and we wanted to be the people to take a chance on him. He had a couple bouts of cancer when he was younger. You can't really tell, but his arm is much shorter. One of his arms is much shorter. He doesn't really have a shoulder. Doesn't affect him physically really at all, but it does affect him mentally. So that is something we're continuously working with him on. He'll lack confidence. He compares himself to the other photographers a lot. So we're always checking in with him. Then we have Jensen, our admin. She's wonderful, beautiful, bright, smiles, big people pleaser. So she'll if a client's kind of overly aggressive on the phone, she takes that to heart. So that's something we're always really talking about with her. She can't just brush it off. So we're building her up by telling her, how she can handle that. And then our culture at Three Palms Media is so important to us. It goes back to what can we do for our employees, not what they can do for us. So we have team meetings every other week. We go to my parents' house or we go to my house and we have a team meeting. We roundtable. What's going great for you this week? What's not going great for you this week? We've started to empower our photographers. Julian is so great with problem solving and processes on site. He gave a presentation last week on everything that he does to achieve that. Justin gave one the other day about tips for putting agent on camera. He stood up at our team meeting, had a little Canva presentation, and presented. It's giving them opportunity to show leadership and learn from each other. We're going to have a couple more trainings that each individuals are going to do as well. We do team events. Here we're at putt-putt golf or something like that. Tim checks in with them weekly on phone calls. And I was really proud the other day because one of our photographers, Tommy, said to me on site, he said, I've just loved observing you guys. I've loved observing being a part of Three Palms Media. He's like, it's amazing. All we do all day is solve each other's problems and help each other out and build each other up. He's like, it's incredible. I've never worked at a place like this before. I'm just so proud to work here. And that just made me so proud. It's exactly what I'm trying to give to our photographers. Some examples, of how we don't just say that we need to pour into our team, but we actually do. So this is Justin. He's got a DJ business. He was so lost business-wise, right? Like, he has the talent, but he does not know how to run a business. We've sat down with him. We've helped him open up his LLC. We've helped him give him best practices. How can we make your DJ business better, Justin? Because if your DJ business is better, you're going to be happier. You're going to be a better person. You're going to work better for us at Three Palms Media. And if it takes off and you go and do this full time, we've done our job. We don't need to hold on to him. We've done our job.
That's my goal. I always say, like, I hope you guys leave us because I want you guys to pursue what their passion, their destination is. So.
Exactly. Faith is a wedding photographer, sick of doing weddings. We've helped her kind of restructure her business, some things she wants to do. We had a whole mindset chat with her just the other week, and she was just like, I can't thank you enough for just taking time with me to understand me and help me. So that was just awesome. They were asking me about, how do I get a 401k? How do I do this and that? And I said, would you guys be interested if I did a little speech thingy about personal finance and how you can, better manage your finances personally from what I've done, not a financial advisor? And they said, yeah, that'd be awesome. So we did that a few weeks ago. They really loved that. And then my favorite, this is Febby. Febby was our lead VA. Her dream was to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert. I mean, come on, yeah, of course. And she lives in the Philippines. I said, okay, if she goes to the Philippines, let's see if we can get you there. Taylor did not go to the Philippines, but she did decide to go to Singapore for like 6 or 7 nights. And Febby's other dream was to go to a new country, travel to a new country. Had never been on a plane, had never been on a bus, had never been on anything before. We made that happen. She went to Singapore with her boyfriend, and she just said it was literally a dream come true. And we've just really been able to change. She's been able to change her life by how much effort she's put in at Three Palms Media, and we are happy to be a facilitator of that. Having a team is the best thing that we've ever done. It's so rewarding. It's like I've found our purpose is having the team, and I really love them. I get emotional about them because we really are making a difference, and that's something, that was one of my family values growing up, is make a difference, dream big. We've been able to do that with our team.